And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to my stream. I'm Pierre. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I know that I did. So we are back and things are going pretty good today. I noticed that setting up the studio was back to normal, which means everything is kind of automatic now. I found all my markings, and so it's kind of nice because instead of worrying that I forget to do something, I can concentrate and think about the painting and what I'm going to do later on. I know one thing is that we're going to start off like we always do. We're going to go over to the computer, check out what we did on Friday, and then we'll tackle our day from there. So what did we do Friday? If I recall, it was a very short day because all we did basically is put a second coat to hide the brush strokes from the day before. So we had a little bit of purple, a little bit of white on this cobalt blue. So that was basically our day on Friday, if I recall correctly. It only took us like 20 minutes. So perfect way to end a Friday. So what am I going to do today? Well, first things first, I'm going to put some highlights on my background. A little bit of cerulean blue, just very lightly, maybe a little of this cobalt blue with a little bit of black to have some darker shading. And these light and dark shadings, even though we'll never notice it when the painting is done, still subconsciously, it's going to give a little bit of depth and some richness to the background. So that is what I'm going to do first. And I do have a fan over here, which I'm going to bring closer to the painting. I'm going to put it on high speed like that. Hopefully, all these little details we're going to put now, or these highlights that we're going to put on now, hopefully they will dry very quickly and I will be able to start the details of our background. That would be great rather than having a very short stream and having to wait till tomorrow. So, first things first, let me bring the fan over. I'm going to bring this baby over here. Aim it towards the canvas. There we go. I'm going to put it on medium height to start off with. And I'm going to get some cerulean blue, which I have right here. Pick a rather stiff brush. This one looks pretty good. I'm going to just put it to soak for a few seconds. And while I do that, maybe I'll grab my cobalt, add the black to it, use the same palette. And like that, it'll give my brush time to soak in the water. As usual, I'm going to start off on the upper left-hand corner and work my way all the way down. There we go. Just putting a dab of my cobalt blue in my cerulean so it's not too bright. I do want this shading to be kind of discreet. I don't want it to scream out and overwhelm too much the details that I'm going to be putting on top of all this. There we go. That's all we're going to do is just dab on this paint. I know it's going to darken as it dries. Sometimes I had to go back and do this over either a little darker or a little bit brighter because it's hard to judge sometimes since this darkens as it dries. And sometimes it dries too dark and sometimes too light. So Always have to kind of readjust the whole thing, and got to do this before you put the details on later on. So kind of important to get it right. And if I'm not happy with the background, I'm rarely happy with the rest of the painting. So the background is just so important. Get down here. See, I have a tendency to forget about the camera while I'm concentrating on the painting. That is the challenge of doing a live stream. You can't just think about the painting. You also have to think about the cameras and switching cameras so that the live stream is livelier and more fun to watch. I mean, when there's a lot of contrast on the camera, it looks great. But in real life, you don't want it to be too much. You don't want too much contrast. You want it to blend in. It's got to be subtle. That's another thing you have to learn. Differentiate what you see on a camera and what is real life. Because my clients don't buy what's on the camera. They buy what they see in the studio or in the gallery. Because I'm going to do a bunch of little circles, which I call electromagnetic waves. I am going to get my gold paint together. Let's start off with a nice clean palette. Where's the gold? Where art thou, my gold? Here it is. Iridescent gold. It's the gold I like the most. Nice and brilliant. Now, of course, there's white gold and red gold in the real life, and yellow gold. Well, this would be, I guess, considered yellow gold. So that's what the painting looks like up to now. I still have no idea what the frame or the bottom of the painting, what colors they will be. But we'll figure that out little by little. In the meantime, I want to thank you very much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful evening. I hope you'll join me tomorrow. We'll be right back here at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, or 3 p.m. if you're living in Paris. And I'm going to leave you like I always do with two things. The first one is my schedule, and the second one is by saying, ciao mes amis.